Dear students, welcome to the course Introduction to Metaphysics of Sanskrit Language, and this is lecture 15. We are going to begin the few left out things which have been taught in the last lecture. As we have already gone through these things like chakras involved in the physiology, chakras and marmassthanas, today I am going to discuss this awakened state of Kundalini and the rest of the related topics. So, continuing from the previous ones, as I have already explained the encapsulation, delimitation of the powers, for your revision, I am again showing you the chakras, the diagrams, because we are going to understand little bit more about them. Ājñā chakra, then Viśuddhi chakra, then Mūlādhāra, Svādhiṣṭhāna, Maṇipūra, Anāhata, and the way energy descends down through these chakras when the process of manifestation begins. So, this is the complete circle, and I explained that the actual thing which happens is like the energy is descending in this way, and this is a complete circle, and we have to again retrace it back to the in order to rejoin pinned with the Brahmand. So, the way of manifestation or descending down is this one, this is the cycle, and again you have, if we want to unite ourselves with the cosmic energy, then we have to complete this circle or this coil, and that is something which is understood as Kundalini Jagrana Prakriya. So, now little bit more related with the chakras is in the process of cognition is going to be discussed. From here, you need to have, you need to remember this thing that in the first level, when we process Gandha Tanmatra, 3 chakras are involved: Anāhata, Svādhiṣṭhāna, Maṇipūra. Then again, when Rasa Tanmatra is processed, Anāhata and Maṇipūra, these are the 2 chakras which are participating. In the next way, in the same way, next Tanmatra, that is Rupa Tanmatra, again the 2 chakras are there which are included in the normal physiology. For Sparsh Tanmatra, again 3 chakras are functional, actively functional, and for Shabda Tanmatra, again the 3 chakras are actively involved. So, in this way, when we summarize the things, we find that in a normal physiology, Anāhata, Svādhiṣṭhāna and Maṇipūra, these are the actively participating or functional chakras when we perform our daily behavior. While Mūlādhāra, Viśuddhi and Ājñā chakra, they are not visible or they are not visibly participating. We don't feel them there that they are visibly participating. So, contemplation is done by Ājñā chakra, whatever the left out chakras are there. So, first thing is Ājñā chakra is actively involved for concentration or contemplation. Through contemplation, potential energy is concentrated at a single locus or condensed at a point, and that point is concentration or dhyāna. That means any subject, you concentrated yourself on a particular point. Maybe you are studying, maybe you are directly meditating. So, there will be a point of concentration, that is dhyāna, and this is done by the functionality of Ājñā chakra. This state is reinforced in a dhyāna. When we start meditating deeply, we get absorbed with the object of concentration, that becomes the state of dhyāna. So, you start meditating. Recitation of Om ignites the svaras of Viśuddhi chakra, which in turn mobilizes the prāṇik energy of breath. So, if you are trying to recite the mantra Om repeatedly, what is happening? Your prāṇik energy, your vital energy is mobilized just by the breath. Inspiration, expiration. Through that breath itself, the mantra makes you to resonate with the cosmic energy. So, sadhakas, practitioners or yogis practice pranayam and then ignite this energy to establish relink of Viśuddhi and Mūlādhāra chakra. So, what is important here? You can see that this is the point, because in our structure, our spine has been erected. at the time of embryonic development, if you go and compare the diagram, this diagram with the embryological condition when the fetus is getting developed, embryo is getting developed, at that point when the division of the cell is happening, your Viśuddhi and Mūlādhāra are getting delinked. So, in turn what is happening, this coiled state or coiled structure is becoming straight like this one. So, we are having a straight spine, along with that we are having all the chakras located. So, normally what type of diagrams we have on internet or in the books, that is like this alignment is available, and this is how the descending of energy happens. At the time of embryonic development, the segmentation or the separation between Viśuddhi and Mūlādhāra creates a de-link. That is why we are not able to again join up ourselves with the cosmic or the universal energy. So, what is needed? We have to actually link the two chakras through some or the other method. So, if few in the Tantra Shastra and Agam Shastra we have mudras. So, a lot of the practitioner or sadhakas or yogis practice mudra. In the same way, we have so many asanas. So, asana gives a substratum to practice mudra. And if you are having a comfortable asana or posture, then automatically you will be very comfortable in practicing any kind of mudra. But if you are not having a flexible body, flexible gross structure through which you can fold your legs, arms, etc. in order to join up Viśuddhi with the Mūlādhāra, you cannot practice any mudra. And that is why all the possible sadhakas are not suitable, or they are compatible, or you can say capable enough to practice the mudra. So, in that case, what should be done? If you are not able to practice these mudras physically, then you won't be able to recycle or you can say re-link yourself with the cosmic energy. So, then what is the method? क्या सिद्ध नहीं होगा योग कभी? So, it is not like that. So, for that purpose only, here we are going to understand what is the mechanism which is available within us in order to rejoin this link, or you can say complete this coil. So, what is mentioned here, when we try to establish relink of Viśuddhi and Mūlādhāra chakra to complete the energy flow in the coiled form of chakras like this, for outside beings this process appears to be the stopping of breath. For few moments you will feel like the yogis or the sadhakas are not breathing, because there will be no pulsation and no heartbeat. You won't be able to identify that. But inside the coil will be completed. Inside the coil is completed, that is why the energy flow in the coil is complete. This is the state of a yogi, and that is why whenever you read any text in Ramayana or Mahabharata, especially you will find the stories like Valmiki. Story of Valmiki is like, Valmiki means termite, दीमक को कहते हैं वाल्मीकि, ठीक है. वाल्मीकि कौन थे? जब वो तपस्या में लीन हो गए और वो वाल्मीकि से ढक गए. So, you can imagine that state when there is no pulsation, no breath for the outside beings, and still there is a consciousness, and that conscious entity is hidden under the Valmiki or termite. So, nobody was able to identify the structure who was sitting inside of that termite structure, pile of the termites. So, in this kind of stories are available in Ramayana also, in Mahabharata also. When a lot of yogis were practicing in the forest or in deep caves, they go in the state of trance or samadhi, and they are covered by so many of grasses, roots, etc., that you won't find that there is a yogi sitting inside. So, this is happening, this happens because of this, you won't actually identify that, you won't be able to identify that there is a person who maybe we are not able to identify his breath or the pulsation, but that is a conscious entity, that is a yogi, that he is living. यही इसी कारण से है, क्योंकि वो internal coil complete हो जाती है. So, once the circle gets completed, Shakti penetrates the Ājñā chakra to reach out the Sahasrara chakra and establishes the link with the cosmic center to access that cosmic energy. So, in this stage, in the straight spine, In the straight spine, what is happening for us? Those who are not able to practice any kind of mudra to fold or to link with their Viśuddhi with the Mūlādhāra, that is at the bottom of the spine. You can say that the lumbar portion of our spine is having this Mūlādhāra. So for that purpose, what has the process of how it has been evolved or explained or observed. For example, you take this bottle as your spinal cord, right? So in our spinal structure, what is present? There is the actual nadi, which is understood as having the energies of the chakra, or this structure which you are seeing in the straight way. This structure is supposed to be inside of the Sushumna nadi, that is central nadi. And in between, so you assume like in between this bottle there is a Sushumna nadi, and on the two sides, on one side there is Ida and on the second side there is Pingala. Both are the nadis. And what is nadi? It's you can say it's a metaphysical structure. That's why it cannot be exactly equated any physical structure, but for the sake of understanding, medical sciences actually equates it with the sympathetic and parasympathetic ganglions, the chain of the ganglion, but it's not exactly equivalent. So you consider like Sushumna nadi is placed inside in the central region, then on the sides, one side we have Ida, other side we have Pingala. So what happens, one nadi is Surya nadi, other is Chandra nadi, and that's why once you internalize yourself, day and night start undergoing within yourself. You won't be dependent on the days and nights which are happening outside because of the luminosity of the sun. जो अभी हमें लगता है कि दिन तब हुआ जब सूर्य उग गया, रात्रि तब हो गई जब सूर्य अस्त हो गया. So it's not like at that time yogi is getting awakened or going to the state of sleep or transition as per the Ida and Pingala. One is Surya nadi, one is Chandra. So sun and moon both are inside of you at that time, and your biological clock will be regulated as per those sun and moons. So what is happening in that structure, in that 3D structure, you assume in the center there is a Sushumna having this chain of chakras, and on one side Ida, Surya nadi, and one side Pingala, Chandra nadi is present. So what happens when the energy is ignited from the Mūlādhāra? So we consider that dormant energy, dormant potency in a unified form is present at the Mūlādhāra chakra. So at the bottom there is a unified energy residing in dormant state. When it is ignited, what happens? It gets awakened, and then it will be inside a complete coiled structure, because this is a pipe, it's a closed pipe, and within a closed pipe, when some kind of energy gets ignited from the bottom, it will try to come up. It will try to come up, and then it will take the circle, and the circle will be 3.5 circle. And so in another sense, if the chakras which are available in the form of petals, if they are being ignited and they start revolving, so that in turn the shape will be like of a serpent. That's why the name is Kundalini, serpent like structure, and the serpent will be having 3.5 coils. It will be like one circle, one, then a second, then third, and then half. It will penetrate the Ājñā chakra to link up with the cosmic center, that is Sahasrara. So this is how the Kundalini Jagran is being practiced by the yogis, those who are not able to practice the mudras. Those who are practice the mudras, they are supposed to be named as a Hatha yogi, because they try to make balat or Hatha purvak, forcibly they try to make their physical organs to fold like that, so that your Viśuddhi and Mūlādhāra can be linked. So this is how we try to ignite our dormant potential energy in order to access the cosmic energy. After this, we need to understand another very important thing, which is also a part of chakra itself, that is our eye. The sense indri, I am not talking about the gross eye. The senses which are chakshu, we are having it like in two forms, and the third one, which is supposed to be the eye of the Shiva. That's why Shiva is supposed to be Trinetra, having three netra. So what is there? One side is right and one is left. The right side is understood as a Surya Pradhan. That means Surya Nadi is following it up. In the same way, left side is Soma Pradhan, that is Soma Nadi. Chandra Nadi is following, is in the continuation with that. And in the center, that is Agni or Vagni Chakra, which is our existence, that is cognizer. So in Kashmir Shaiva Darshan, in Agama Shastra, these are also understood with equally with the chakras itself. This is understood as Dwadashara Chakra because it contains, Dwadash means 12. 12 array, you can say arrays are having the, just like if you recollect the structure of Sudarshan Chakra. Sudarshan Chakra is having these kind of arrays. These is, in the cycle we are having so many arrays, right? So if they are, if the number is 12, that will be Dwadashara. If the number is 16, it will be Shodashara. So here it is Dwadashara, here it is Shodashara. Shodashara is on the left side and Dwadashara is on the right side. And in between, that is this one, in between the Bhrumadhya, that is Ājñā Chakra, which is Vagni Chakra, or it is having 8 arrays. That's why 8 ar hai. Ar is the Sanskrit word for these arrays. So this is understood as Ashtara Chakra because it's having 8. So Ashtara, Dwadashara, Shodashara, these are also understood as having 3 chakras, and together they form a triangle. This is understood as a three-chord. So once you become a realized yogi, that means one person who has already ignited the kundalini from the Mūlādhāra and pierced the Ājñā Chakra, linked oneself with the Sahasrara, then automatically the energy would be concentrated on the Ājñā Chakra, and once the person start contemplating or focusing at a single locus through the eyes at a single point, automatically this trick starts functioning. So that person will be possessing a lot of condensed energy, and even by just by seeing, the person can read the minds of other people because the person is having the potential of siddhis. Ashta siddhi उसे प्राप्त हो जाएंगी. Ashta siddhi means you are becoming able to listen the sounds from very far. You are able to identify the things which are crossing the time-space junctions. These are the possible things when the normal consciousness gets linked with the cosmic energy. So automatically this trick starts functioning. That's why your concentration power will be much reinforced if you start practicing, or if you practice the state of Kundalini Jagaran. In turn, what you are doing, you are actually maintaining the link between the limited consciousness with the grand possible consciousness. You are accessing the grand energy in a limited container, but you are in continuation continuously because you are keep practicing, you are keep engaged in the sadhana process. So automatically you will be surpassing a lot of the restrictions or limitations which have already occurred in the process of manifestation through the 36 levels or 36 layers of encapsulations. So this is another thing, that is three-chord. And now in this structure itself, if you take 2 triangles, one triangle upward, one triangle downward, when I say in this diagram that if the energy is descending down, so we are following this circle as this one, right? Energy is descending down. If you are associating yourself again with the cosmic energy, so this is another way. So one way is of descending, that means coming down. Yeah, that means the grandest possible energy or unbound state is becoming limited. One is descending and another is ascending. That is, limited energy is again getting linked with the cosmic energy. So descending, ascending. So one triangle is denoting you the descending of the energy. Descending of the energy means creation, manifestation. One triangle is denoting you the ascending of energy, that means dissolution. Once everything gets dissolved, then this second triangle functions. So in turn, this symbol becomes a star symbol. So star symbol is our symbol, just like swastik. In Tantra Shastra, we have a lot of symbols, and from that base itself, we have so many artistic expressions in our temples. जहाँ भी आर्किटेक्चरल डिज़ाइन बनी है अपने देश की, वो सब यही सिम्बल्स से बनी है, एंड ईच सिम्बल रिप्रेजेंट ईच वेरी स्पेसिफिक आइडेंटिटी और कॉन्सेप्ट. So wherever you find that something is converging at a single point, just like that temple top, in our architectural monuments, whatever architectural practices we are having, we concentrate the energy at a single locus. So the temple top is constructed like that, not in this way. So we concentrate our energies at a single locus. If that somebody is sitting in that temple, in that structure, and then practicing, automatically the Ājñā chakra gets ignited and it will link up with the Sahasrara. That's why temples are having the shape in that structure. There is a very specific science behind that. So here you can see these are two triangles. So in turn, what this Shiva Shakti Sanghat is representing? This is representing one triangle downward, that is manifestation, one triangle upward, that is dissolution. So in turn, the whole of the creation and dissolution, or manifestation and dissolution, can be represented by the star symbol, and this is how it is being represented. That means two tricodas are simultaneously superposed, and then the symbol of a star gets created. So this is understood, this concept is understood as a Shiva Shakti Sanghat. So because Shiva and Shakti, these are the two ultimate principles, two ultimate tattvas, who once Shakti is at the foreground, the manifestation happens. Once Shakti is retrieving back, actually the principle who is actively participating in both the process, manifestation and dissolution, is Shakti herself. Once the Shakti is in the mode of manifestation, she will descend down, undergo encapsulation and limitations. Once the Shakti undergoes the reversal process, then it will be, she will retrace back to her original state of unbound intelligible energy or consciousness. So dissolution will happen. So in both the processes, Shakti is the dominant feature. Once dissolution is happening, everything is going back to its dormant state, and once manifestation is happening, everything is coming up as it is opening, as universe or Vishwa is getting opened at the cosmos of the intelligible energy. So this is represented by this Shiva Shakti Sanghat. This concept is understood as Shiva Shakti Sanghat. If you are being asked in examinations, write down the dissolution and manifestation process as per the understanding of Kashmir Shaiva Darshan, or the question is of 1 mark, what is supposed to be the name for that? Shiva Shakti Sanghat. आपको और कुछ explain नहीं करना होगा उस केस में, आपको सिर्फ यही बताना होगा. 1 word for the manifestation and dissolution is Shiva Shakti Sanghat. That means together Shakti and Shiva are participating in manifestation also, in dissolution also. So this is the superposition of the two triangles which is creating a star mark. In the next one, which is our subject matter much more, because for understanding this intuitive communication, we need to have the understanding about Trikod and Shiva Shakti Sanghat. So I explained them first, then I am coming to the intuitive communication. Bhasha, because I told you we have started our course from the roughest understanding about language, that is, it is a means of communication. We trespassed that understanding, that language is not just a means of communication, it's much more communion with ourselves, right? Now one step ahead, intuitive communication, that is also a communication. How you intuit, how your sixth sense functions, how you exclaim like, I was thinking about it, suddenly you came. I was having this feeling that you may come today, or somebody is trying to call me, or somebody is trying to contact me, but at that point I was just guessing it. Right now it happened. How this happens? How this intuition comes to you? So intuitive communication is available to all of us just because of this three-chord structure that we possess, because our energy is condensed at these 3 points. Two eyes, that means chakshu indri, that is having dvadashara and shodashara chakra. So you don't consider that this is only with us. This is with all the organisms wherever shodashara and dvadashara chakras are there, and there will be a third eye chakra or the ashtara chakra. There will be a trick. And that one trick, another trick. We suppose you consider 2 friends. So both the persons are having this trick. And if one person is extremely remembering the other one, like your mother is very sick and she is remembering, she wants to see you. So continuously you will be able to feel that kind of sixth sense that I should go home. Maybe you are not knowing the cause. Maybe no one has informed about it. So why it happens? Because of these trichodas, your condensed energy is automatically getting linked with the energies which are surrounding you. So this is represented in this structure, in this diagram, when the 2 energies, they mutually amalgamate. You intuit, or we intuit. And this intuition can happen at the 3 possible levels. First level is of dual state, which I explained right now. Like in dual state, what is a necessity for intuitive communication? Like proximity and familiarity. Why? Because suppose you lived in proximity with your mother, your father, your brother, sisters, you are familiar with them, your friends. So these are the examples which have familiarity and proximity. इनको जानते हो, इनके साथ कभी ना कभी समय बिताया है. Like 2 friends, co-workers, colleagues, etc. So आपने इन सबके साथ समय बिताया है. तो in duality, you can make this intuitive communication with all of them. At dual state, 2 intelligible energies are in talk with each other. Due to the conjugation of the 2 triangles, that is Shodashar, Ashtar and Dwadashar chakra से बनने वाला trick. This conjugation of intelligible energies and doesn't require conjugation of the gross body. Doesn't matter your physical body कहाँ है. You are here, your mother, your father, your friend, your sister, your co-worker with whom you are familiar is somewhere else. Doesn't matter, but you will intuit about the situation. So this happens in dual state because of the conjugation of 2 intelligible energies. If the conjugation of eyes has already happened once, the thoughts can be transferred from one to another despite of the differences in the time and space. If you are a continuous practitioner of some kind of meditative practices, or in your own house, home, or in culture, you have been trained from the by birth to practice jap, puja, havan, daily routine practices. You have made habituated of them. So in turn, unknowingly you are practicing the same thing. You don't know why and how you are able to condense your energy and how you are getting linked with the other ones. You are not aware about it, but this happens because of that practice which has been already given you from the childhood. So the only requirement is to possess a clean and transparent chitta by both the persons. If you are not afflicted, what is affliction? Affliction is a pile up of the impressions. Like impressions can be of infinite types, but basically fundamentally they can be of 3 types: sattvic, rajasic and tamasic. What is sattvic? When somebody is very good and nice to you, you met that person, you felt a kind of very good memory, that is sattvic impression. Rajasic impression is like you met with a person who is having a lot of wealth, very rich person, and you are getting so many of your luxuries or comforts by the person, or you can say by the impressions of meeting with that person. So in turn that will be creating a kind of rajasic memory. And the third is the tamasic memory. If a person has hurt you, or you can say you saw someone killing other This kind of things, or you saw a movie or any kind of drama where you saw something which was very vibhats, bhayanak, these are the two rasas. So you felt like something which was very horrible. So that is the tamasic memory. And in if you conjugate all the threes, like sattva plus rajas plus sattva plus tamas, so there can be 9 possible types. And if you mixed 1 plus 3 or 1 plus 2, 1, in that way there can be multiple types, infinite types can be created. So impressions can be of infinite types, and the type of impression will create affliction. That's why it is prescribed in our culture that you should be very conscious in selecting what you actually see, what you actually do, what you actually listen. If these are good, automatically you are going to be in a cycle of sattvic impressions, and sattvic impressions will always lead you to get the exit from the bonds. So in turn your chitta will not be afflicted. This is something which is understood here, that if both the persons are very clean and transparent, they are not afflicted by the wrong or rajasic or tamasic memories, then what will happen? The chitta will be very transparent, like this surface or the surface of a tablet or a mirror. If that surface is dusty or having scratches, everything won't be getting reflected as it is. Right? But if the surface is not dusty, it is very clean and transparent, whatever is available in the surroundings, that will be reflected as it is, without any alterations. So if you make your consciousness as clean as possible, that means the natural state when you are born, without any afflictions, clean and transparent, purest state, then automatically whatever you are having in your surroundings, that will start getting reflected in your surface. And that is something when we say that a realized person becomes able to read the minds. Whatever you are thinking, that person will be able to understand that आप ये पूछना चाहते थे ना? You will feel like, हाँ, आपको कैसे पता चला? How you are able to read the face, how you are able to read the mind? Because your thoughts will be getting reflected in that mirror. That surface has become a mirror. So the consciousness which is very clean and transparent, that's the requirement here for the intuition also. The more clean the chitta is, the more is the clarity of the thoughts mutually transferred. If both the individuals realize their potentials perfectly, then they can determine their hidden potencies of upgrading their levels of the chitta and consequently the awakening of the kundalini. These kind of persons have high mental potentials because concentration power is very strong, and capacity of making extraordinary decisions. That's why they become extraordinary, which can be realized and understood by both of them if they have practiced any of the ways of the sadhana. Jap, tap, dan, puja, havan, ho, ityadi, yajna, all these are the methods which have been already absorbed and assimilated in our culture. They are the part of sadhana itself. So if we are having in any form, any of those kind of ideas in our daily life, then we are already inside of the cycle of sadhana. Don't consider that if you leave everything and go to the Himalayas, then only you are going to be a yogi. तो योगी बनने के लिए संसार छोड़ना नहीं है, संसार में रहते हुए भी योग सिद्ध होता है, या फिर ये कहो कि वास्तविक योग वही है जो संसार में रहते हुए ही सिद्ध होता है. That means if a person is having a profession of rickshaw to regularly do that work of having, or you can say rickshaw chalak jo vyakti hai, wo vyakti, that person, if that person is also putting 100% of his own effort with the whole of his energy, that is also a yogi. You consider that person as a yogi, because that person is able to put 100% of his own concentration and energy in that task, which is a kind of profession to him. So if you are a student, that is your profession to study properly, and if you are putting your 100% in that, automatically you are a yogi, because the concentration power is condensed enough and you are doing justice with yourself. That is done. But if you are not putting that kind of thing, you are distracted in so many things, automatically you won't be able to perform. If input is not 100%, output can never be 100%. Very simple. If they enhance their potencies mutually and complement each other, this conjugation represents highly compatible pairing. So automatically, just like your Bluetooth devices are getting connected to your systems, your intuitive power connects the two people or more than two people. This is actually within us, and we have created in the systems outside to us. So we understand it when we see the systems, and we don't understand when we see ourselves. This is the blunder we have created because of our this imported education system. Now at the second level, dual cum non-dual state. At dual cum non-dual state, proximity is not required. Familiarity is present, like you are right now not with your parents, but still you are familiar. So अभी आप proximity में नहीं है, लेकिन familiar हैं, परिचित हैं. Between mother and the child, between the twins, between people with the blood relations, with the deep emotional bonds, they are dual cum non-dual state. At this state, it is inbuilt because of the continuation of same stream of consciousness, and is always experienced by us because we consider the other entity as an extension of our own existence. Like mother, father consider their children as an extension of their existence. So automatically, if you are in pain, if you are suffering, they will feel restlessness. They will intuit like something has happened with my child. Automatically, this is because of non-dual cum dual state. Then last one is the topmost state, non-dual state. In non-dual state, the proximity and familiarity are not compulsory conditions. That means ना तो कभी परिचित होने की ज़रूरत है, just like we have never seen Kashyap Rishi, we have never seen Vashishtha Rishi, we have never seen Parashar Rishi, but still they are in existence right now also. So what happens at this stage between the yogis or the sadhakas, munis or rishis, at this state the communication is seated at the highest level of existence and corresponds to the anupravesh into any other being just by initiating manasik shakti, that is ichha shakti, and includes para, pashyanti, madhyama, vaikhari, all the levels of vak. This is just dependent on the willpower of a sadhak or yogi. So that those kind of realized persons are not bound in the restrictions of the time and space, because kal and kala are the part of transitional phase, that is shuddha kam ashuddha tattva, shuddha ashuddha adva, and they can be crossed once you reach to the state of shuddha tattvas. Automatically the normal understanding about the time and space vanishes. That's why Shiva is considered as Mahakal. Kal ko jo trespass kar jata hai wo Mahakal hai. And that's why there is a story of Mrityunjay. Why we recite Mahamrityunjay jap? Because the Mrityunjay was a child who was having this, like his age will be only 14 years. After that he will die. But he started worshipping Shiva, and when the time of death came, Yamaraj was there. He was trying to, in the story, the narration is like that, he was trying to get him, but because he already made himself seated at the Shiva Tattva, and Shiva Tattva is already beyond the Kal and Kala both. So automatically Yamaraj was not able to take him with him, or he trespassed the time and space. That's why Mahamrityunjay, मृत्यु को जो जीत लेता है वो महामृत्युंजय जप है. That's on the basis of that, his name itself, we have the name of the jap as Mahamrityunjay jap or mantra. After this, one concept is also very important in Indian understanding, manasik swikriti, mental acceptance. What is mental acceptance? Manas, for understanding manas, because we are dealing with the mantratmak aspect of bhasha, manas is coming directly or prominently in the discussion. So manas is what? Manas is none but delimited kriya shakti. First of all, we need to know manas is delimited kriya shakti. Manas is limited kriya shakti. Manas तब भी इतना लिमिटेड होने के बाद भी इन श्रीमद् भगवद गीता what Arjuna is asking, what Arjuna is asking to Krishna, कि मन बहुत चंचल है मेरा, मनः चंचलम, ऐसा वो पूछते हैं. I am not able to decide what to do. He surrenders because I don't want to kill my own kids and kins. and he is in the greatest conflict. So he is saying like that, I am not able to decide what to do, my man is not, because man is very chanchal. Is still because manas is a delimited kriya shakti, then also it is very fast in receiving and responding to the stimuli. And it's as it is bimodal in nature, so it is occupying the characters of both. That means jnanendriya also, senses also, and karmendriya also, actions also. Jnanendriyas are dominated, or you can say limited jnana shakti, having limited jnana shakti or jnana shakti, that means knowledge power, and actions are having limited kriya shakti. So in turn manas is having both of them, limited jnana also, limited kriya also. And as manas is coming from ahankar, manas is the child of ahankar, just like we are the child of our parent, we inherit the characteristics of our parents. So automatically manas is having the characteristic of ahankar also, that is ichha shakti. So that is why in general talk what we say, मेरा मन करता है कि रसगुल्ला खा ले, मेरा मन करता है कि नाइटी छोड़ के चले जाए, मेरा मन करता है इस क्लास में ना आए. हम कभी कहते हैं कि हमारा मन हम करते हैं, मन को बीच में ना लाएं, ऐसा नहीं होता. इन डेली टॉक, इन जनरल कन्वर्सेशन, इन आवर लैंग्वेजेस वॉट एवर दे आर, रीजनल लैंग्वेजेस ऑल्सो, वी ब्रिंग मनस इन बिटवीन. आई लाइक इट इन इंग्लिश, बट इन आवर लैंग्वेजेस मेरा मन कर रहा है, आप अपने मन को बीच में लाते ही लाते हैं. मनस इज इन टर्न हैविंग इच्छा, ज्ञान and kriya, all the three powers, but in limited, in encapsulation, in limitations, in encapsulations. So in turn manas is possessing limited ichha, jnana and kriya, all the three powers. So here this is important, like manas is none but delimited kriya shakti because of being bimodal in nature. This also possesses delimited jnana, which is the characteristic of senses. Because it comes as an evolute from ahankara, it is inheriting ichha shakti, and thus it is most powerful entity among the constituents of cognitive apparatus, that is chit. So first thing in examination, whenever you will be asked like what is chiti, चिति स्वतंत्रा विश्व सिद्धि हेतु स्वेक्षया सौभित्तौ विश्वम उन्मीलयति. Chitti is having absolute independent willpower, absolute freedom, and she is the root cause of the cosmos. She opens up the cosmos or Vishwa at her own surface, at her own will. This is the definition of Chitti. And what is Chitta? So Chitta is delimited Chitti. Chitta is delimited Chitti. When Chitti descends down and undergoes encapsulation at 36 levels of limitations, then Chitti becomes a Chitta. So what is Chitta? Limited Chitti is Chitta. First thing, Chitta has three constituents: manas, ahankar and buddhi. Manas is having limited ichha, jnana and kriya. And because it is possessing all the three powers but in limited state, this is the most powerful entity. Once manas is saturated with a decision or determination, not decision, with a determination, मैंने संकल्प कर लिया है, मैंने प्रतिज्ञा कर ली है. भीष्म ने क्या प्रतिज्ञा की थी? So in Mahabharata you will find a lot of persons doing pratigya. What is pratigya? Pratigya is sankalp. So determination is always done by manas. If manas is saturated with a determination, it becomes a part of one's own existence and it becomes a non-modifiable reality. This is the reason why Indian tradition incorporates the lineage and tradition of knowledge based on manasik sikriti. Manasik sikriti, that means we have the gotra system not by the blood lineage. We have the gotra system based on the knowledge transference. We consider our gotra as Kashyap or Kashyap or Vaśiṣṭhā. We consider or we link up with ourselves with any rishi in the name of our gotra. Why? Because of knowledge tradition. Because we consider that our parents or our lineage, our progeny inherited the knowledge from that rishi, from that cult. So the internal gotra system is not representing the blood relation. It is representing the knowledge lineage. Passing of the knowledge, or the knowledge came from that lineage. Who is the guru of Ram and Lakshman? Who is the guru of Ram and Lakshman? Vishwamitra or Vaśiṣṭhā? Vaśiṣṭhā is the kul guru of Dasharath. Vishwamitra is guru of Ram and Lakshman. From Vishwamitra himself, Vashishtha Rishi ने उन्हें ज्ञान दिया, पूरा ज्ञान. That means theoretical portion of the Shastra was taught by Vashishtha because he was the Kula Guru. But Vishwamitra trained both of them in Shastra Vidya. Vishwamitra is also his guru of Ram and Lakshman, and he trained both of them in Shastra Vidya. Shastra Vidya. That this is under this in this way you can find a lot of references from Mahabharata also, from Ramayana also, why we are having this Gotra system right now. This is the knowledge tradition. This is the lineage of the knowledge transference. Ahankar is delimited Iccha Shakti, because of which we relate ourselves with each and every accomplishment, and thus Ahankar relates our inner self with our outer self. That's why this is my, I-ness dominates. And Buddhi is delimited Jnana Shakti, which provides us limited knowledge encapsulated within the bonds and covers. So in turn, Manas, Ahankar and Buddhi are delimited Iccha, Jnana and Kriya Shakti. And Manas is having all of them together, that's why it's most powerful entity among the Chitta. After this, Manasik Parikalpana and Pratibh Pratyaksh. This is also very important. Manasik Parikalpana, mental imagination. What is the difference between mental imagination and your intuitive direct perception? There is a difference. Mental imagination or Manasik Parikalpana is a creative thought. Just like in language laboratory, I gave the assignment to create a narration of your own. This write a narration, that means write a story about your journey traveling from one point to another point. You have to imagine or create it, and that is creative writing. So your creative thought is Manasik Parikalpana, and they are the constructs created by Shakti herself, your power to imagine, that is your Shakti. So each of us is having Shiva Tattva and Shakti Tattva both. So in turn, these Manasik Parikalpana are the creative thoughts, which are the constructs created by the Shakti herself. If Shakti is in delimited state and it becomes known as Chit, the constructs created would also be limited, because you are limited, encapsulated realities. So you cannot imagine for the unbound state. किसी ने भी ऐसा कोई assignment नहीं लिखा language lab में जो कि दुनिया से परे हो. Everyone imagined something which is related with them, which is in existence with their limitations. So limited with the construct or the mental creation is also will also be limited, and it will be within the range of time and space. But if Chitti is in original unbound state, all types of mental imaginations or constructs would be at the topmost level where the reality comes into existence or manifestation. So important is what? Important is the seeker, sadhak or observer or the consciousness, at which level you are residing. If I would give the same assignment to a realized person, the person can write anything which is trespassing the normal coverings or encapsulation of time and space. But if I am giving that assignment to the persons like us who are delimited in understanding, delimited within the space and time, they cannot create any kind of imagination which is trespassing the limitations of time and space. This potency is available to everyone, but few people become able to realize it and transform it to the magnified state. This is the reason yogis become able to perceive the reality as it is, and also they are able to create the reality. Everything comes at their own disposition, at the command of their own desire or willpower. In this state, whatever is perceived, that is much above the limited state of perception and crosses the bond of space and time. This is the reason rishis and munis become able to perceive the existence of any other time and space. The compositions like Ramayana, Mahabharata and Puran, they are composed at this kind of deep meditative absorption and are not limited imaginations. They are realities perceived through being seated at the level of one's own grand existence. And this is very important. Why I explained this topic? Because this is a misconception that Ramayana and Mahabharata are the myth. No, this is not mythology. They are not belonging to the mythology, they are belonging to that literature which has been directly perceived, that is pratibh pratyaksha, intuitive potential of directly perceiving something, and that has been received after being seated at the level of grand possible existence. So, this is how it happens. I explained the procedure, how it has happened. After this, we need to continue that understanding. When till now whatever I explained, that was related with the subjects, cognizers, subjective side. How manas is functional, how mantra varna and mantra come into existence, because mantratmak aspect was desired to be taught to you. Now the objective side. In the objective side of manifestation, we have this concept of adva, because we have to understand the concept of time and space. As I am saying that at one point time and space is going to be dissolved. We have to trespass that. So, how and what is that concept? In Kashmir Shaiva Darshan and in Agama Shastra, we have the concept of and. And is elliptical in shape. And this objective manifestation has 3 steps, and these are Tattva, Kala and Bhuvan. I have explained Tattvas, that is 36 Tattvas. So, there are 36 objects of cognition, they are 36 Tattvas. Kalas are 5 in number, though all 36 Tattvas reside in their special residences of Kalas. So, if you consider that this is the last Shiva Tattva, and this is the first, that grossest Prithvi Tattva. So, all the Tattvas will be bearing a boundary, and that boundary will be known as Kala. And this Kala can be equated with the membranous covering, just like when you peel the onions. That means giving a substratum for the limited residences. So, in turn each Tattva is having one Kala, but 5 Kalas are named dominantly in the Shastra, and they are shown in the diagram. Prithvi Tattva, where the Prithvi Tattva is dominating, that is known as Parthiv and the covering is known as Nivritti Kala, because after this no more encapsulation or limitation occurs. That is why the word is Nivritti. Nivritti means आप मुझे निवृत्त कर दीजिए. You just relax me from my responsibilities, relieve me from the responsibilities, relieve कर देना. After that nothing is going to happen. So, Nivritti Kala is the last membrane, because after Prithvi Tattva there is nothing going to come more. So, Parthiv and is dominated by the Prithvi Tattva, and the covering which is surrounding Parthiv and is Nivritti Kala. Second is Prakrit. The Kala is Pratishtha. Pratishtha is the name of the Kala, and Prakrit and is having all the elements, all the Tattvas starting from Jal reaching to the Prakriti. That is why the name is Prakrita. Prakrita name is coming from the Prakriti. So, Prakrita and is having all the 24 Tattvas starting from Jal reaching to Prakriti. Then the covering is Pratishtha. The membranous covering or Kala is Pratishtha Kala. After Prakrit there is Maya and, which is having the Kala or you can say which is covered by Vidya Kala, and this is having Maya, then it is Panch Kanchukas, Maya, Kala, Vidya, Rag, Niyati and Kal plus Purush. So, basically 6 are residing in Maya and. After Maya and there is a Shakta and Shakta and is covered by Shanta Kala. After Shakta and, in Shakta and what we have? Shuddha Tattvas without delimitations. Shiva, Shakti, Sadashiv, Ishwar and Shuddha Vidya, 5. So, in Shakta and leaving the Shiva Tattva, that means 4. Shakti, Sadashiv, Ishwar, Shuddha Vidya, these are the 4. So, in Shakta and we are having 4 Tattvas, in Maya and we are having 6, in Prakrit we are having 24, in Parthiv we are having 1 and in Shiva and again we are having 1 Tattva. So, this is the way how all the Tattvas are encapsulated, and the prominent membranes or prominent Kalas are marked as Shanta Tita, covering of the Shiva and. Then Shanta covering of Shakta and, covering of Maya is Vidya Kala, covering of Prakrit is Pratishtha Kala and covering of Parthiv is nivritti kala. This is how the concept of desh adhva, that is the space. Desh is equals to the space. Desh adhva, adhva means marg. So the way how the space is being aligned, that is depicted in this concept of and. After this, here you can see, because I have told that we have after kala we have bhuvan. So in the 5 membranes or kalas divide the total empty space into 5 oval structures or elliptical structures. They are known as and. They are named as Parthiv, Prakrit, Maya, Shakta and Shiv. And from grossest to subtle level of manifestation, that is Parthiv is the grossest one and Shiv and is the subtlest one. They contain 16, 56, 28, 18 and 16 bhuvanas. Bhuvan is the last one. So the actual residences, the locations are known as bhuvan, and they are named differently. They are numbered differently: 16, 56, 28, 18 and 16. Bhuvanas are in total 118. Total 118. The controller of Parthiv and Shiv and are same. So the number of bhuvanas present there, that is in Shiv and, is not repeatedly counted. Bhuvanas are spaces to reside. They in turn occupy different desh. Within the bhuvan also there is desh. The number of desh is 256. So in each of the bhuvan also there is a desh, which and the total number is that is available in the corpus is 256. Now one by one we have to understand this concept deeply. But before that, we need to understand the concept of time. In Agam or in an Indian understanding, in whole of the Shastra corpus, Nigam also, Agam also, the time, we have the lowest possible unit of measurement of time as angul. Angul is what this part, this much part can be called as angul, this much. क्योंकि हमारे पास इतनी बड़ी उंगली है. If you consider the same measurement for the ant की भी अपनी उंगली होगी, उसका भी ऐसा जो एक हिस्सा होगा वो अंगुल है. So we do not have a kind of standard which is related with the humans. Indian understanding is not obsessed with the superiority of humans. So we have a standard measurement of time that suits to every manifested entity. So angul is a multi-dimensional, or you can say it's a very grand unit of measurement which incorporates the lowest possible unit of any existence. And when this angul is calculated up to this one, like 72 angulas, and then after this, this is creating one internal time. So I told you, because in cakras, why I explained the Kundalini and chakra, because there is a very urgent need to tell you that time is a mental construct and it's relative. Just like whatever time right now we are having in India, that's not the time, exact time in America, right? In different time zones, different places are having different time. Time is not a standard version. Nahi hai. So first thing is time is a mental construct. Second is time can be classified into two categories. One is internal time and second is external time. Internal time is available to us internally, हमारे अंदर, our own biological clock. If you sleep 4 times a day, you are actually having that biological clock which is having 4 nights in a single day. And if you are again awakening 4 times, automatically if you are sleeping 4 times, you are going to be awake 4 times. तो आपके पास एक ही 24 घंटे के दिन में आपके 4 दिन और 4 रातें हो रही हैं. This is how the time is. Time is not the standard version जिसको हम humans के साथ नापें. So we are having one internal time which is our biological clock. Inside it is available to us, automatically goes on spontaneously, continuously. And second is external time, जो हम सूर्य को देखकर समझते हैं. Once the luminosity of the sun is available to us, we feel that is the day, and once the luminosity of the sun is not available to us, we feel like it is night. So if there is a night, if there is no sun for the 6 months, that will be 1 day, 1 night. Not sun, there is not availability of the luminosity for the 6 months, that is 1 night. and for the 6 months sun is available, that is 1 day. तो कुंभकर्ण अगर 6 महीने सोता है, इसका मतलब क्या है कि उसका तो एक ही रात है. This is how the time has been already understood in our corpus. So we have two possible times, internal and external. So here you can see from tuti, prahar, din, ratri, ahoratri, shwas, nishwas, tuti, paksh, paksh sandhi, mash, varsh, sankranti, tithi. This is the concept available for both possible times, internal also, external also. How? Because it is measured by the breath, श्वास. एक श्वास आप भी लेते हैं, एक श्वास चींटी भी लेती है. So the measurement for the breath, one inspiration, one expiration will be different for both the manifested entities, but that is giving the standard of the measurement for the unit of time as the unit or measurement of time. 4 tuti is becoming 1 prahar. 4 prahar is 1 day. In our understanding, 4 prahar is having 1 day, and that is what we have in Jyotish Shastra. Jyotish Shastra means Jyotish Shastra. So in our Jyotish Shastra, what we have in, we classify the calendar and the time. अगर कोई भी आप एस्ट्रोलॉजिकल ऐप उठाकर देख लेंगे आज के टाइम में, चौघड़िया, मुहूर्त ये सब देखेंगे तो आपको यही दिखाएगा. दिन इज क्या है 4 प्रहरों में. 1 day is 4 प्रहर. Again 1 ratri is 4 prahar. 8 prahars becoming 1 ahoratri. Aha means din, ratri means night. 36 angul is 1 shwas. That means once we take or inhale the air, that measurement for the each of the manifested entity is 36 angul as per the measurement of that particular creature. Like for us, this is 1 angul and 36 anguls are joined together, so that is the inspiration, 1 deep inhalation. Again 36 अंगुल वापस करेंगे, निश्वासा, एक्सपिरेशन, आपने बाहर छोड़ दी हवा. तो ये जो आप जितनी हवा, जितना डिस्टेंस, जितनी हवा आप जितना टाइम ले रही है ना आप सांस अंदर लेने में, और जितना टाइम आप ले रहे हैं सांस को बाहर छोड़ने में, उसका मेजरमेंट है 36 अंगुल. द टाइम टेकन फॉर 1 इंस्पिरेशन, देन द टाइम टेकन फॉर 1 एक्सपिरेशन इज 36 अंगुल विद रेस्पेक्ट ऑफ द अंगुल ऑफ ईच ऑफ द मैनिफेस्टेड एंटाइटी. स्टैंडर्डाइज 1, यहाँ ये नहीं है कि हमारे हिसाब से होगा, स्टैंडर्डाइज 1. देन एज पर द कैपेसिटी ऑफ द ईच मैनिफेस्टेड एंटाइटी, 1 प्राणाचार becomes 32 tuti, or and 15 that means 15 tuti becomes 1 paksh. So whatever calendar we have, Indian calendars, that is depicting 1 paksh as 15 tuti or dates. Then you leave the tuti ardha because you are not familiar with that. 2 paksh becomes 1 mass in our Indian calendar. 2 paksh becomes 1 mass. 12 mass becomes 1 varsh, and 5 varsh becomes 1 sankranti. That's why we are having sankrantis. We celebrate them as a festival. 1 varsh is in this way. 1 varsh is having 360 tithi. तो हमारा भारत का कैलेंडर, भारत के कॉर्पस का कैलेंडर जो है वो 360 तिथियां रखता है. वी हैव टोटल 360 डेट्स in our calendar, in our corpus. So 1 varsh is having 360 dates, and this time is fixed or universal with each of the manifested entity, with both of the possible time structure, internal and external, both. आप अपनी जो सांस ले रहे हैं उसमें भी यही है, इंटरनल बायोलॉजिकल क्लॉक में भी यही टाइम है, और जो बाहर हो रहा है जो सन के लुमिनोसिटी के अकॉर्डिंग है, दैट इज ऑल्सो द सेम. आफ्टर दिस वी आर गोइंग टू हैव मोर अंडरस्टैंडिंग अबाउट इट. लाइक वंस यू कंसिडर 60 वर्ष, so the number will be 21,600. So many of the dates will be there, and in the same way this is also one understanding which is in relation to the topmost one, which is available as a variation in our corpus for understanding the subtlest possible unit of measurement of time. So leaving this for right now, we are moving ahead with 360 dates as 1 varsh. What is 1 manav varsh is having 360 dates. So again what happens in the second level of transition of space, time changes. and time changes in multiplicity. One Manav Varsh becomes one Divya Tithi. One Divya Tithi. That means if we are in the grossest state, grossest space, Parthiv and. If का कहने जरूरत ही नहीं है, yes, we are in Parthiv and. So if we are migrating towards the next level, that is Prakrit or Maya or next spaces, then what is happening? The time is changing radically in multiplication. One day for the human beings, मानव वर्ष जो एक है जिससे 360 तिथियां हैं, that will become one date or one tithi, one divya tithi for the creatures living above us in the other spaces or the upper spaces. Second, after this one divya tithi is multiplied by 360, again that will be 360 divya tithi. So 360 divya tithi will be one divya varsh. In the same way, if you just calculate divya 4000 words, it will be one krita yug, that is satayug, जिसको हम सतयुग समझते हैं, वो दिव्य 4000 वर्षों का है. So you can calculate 4000 into 360, that will be giving us the human years for that varsh, for that period of time as Krita Yuga. In the same way, we can have 3000 Divya Varshas as Treta, 2000 as Dwapar and 1000 as Kali. This is how our understanding dates the 4 yugas. In one cycle of 4 yugas, this is what we have. After this also, there is a joining period. Once Krita transits into the next one, that is Krita, after Krita Treta, after Treta then Dwapar, and then after Dwapar Kali. So in between the joining also there is a Sandhi period, Sandhi Bela hai. So the joining period is also there for joining of Krita and Treta 700. Divya 700. Joining of Treta plus Dwapar, Divya 500. Joining of Dwapar plus Kali, Divya 300. And in the same way, joining of the Kali and Krita is Divya 500. So this is the way, Divya 100 hoga. No, 500, okay. So this is how we are having the joining phases. So in total, Sandhi Kal of Yugas is having Divya 2000 Varshas. And total Kal of Yugas is having 10,000 Varshas. Now you join them. So totally we will be having like one Chaturyugi is a Divya 12,000 Varsh or 12,000 into 360 Manav Varsh. This is one Chaturyugi. One cycle of 4 युग. ये है आपका इतिहास. जो मैंने कहा था, आपका क्वेश्चन था कि इतिहास में क्या आता है, रामायण और महाभारत आता है. क्यों आता है? क्योंकि वो एक चतुर्युग को एक्सप्लेन करता है. Whatever events have happened in one cycle of 4 yugas, that is known as इतिहास. Events as they have happened, right? After this, you can see 71 times the Chaturyugi goes on. 71 times the cycle of the 4 yugas passes, that becomes one Manvantar. So if this is calculated, this time is calculated, then it will be dealing with the Purana. That's why we cannot date the Puranas. कहाँ से लेकर आएंगे? ऐसी कौन सी मेथड लेकर आएंगे जो इतनी साइकिल को डेट बैक कर सके? 71 times the cycle of 4 yugas passes, then the narrations of the Puranas are available as a part of our history or itihasa. So Puranas deal with the longer period of history, while itihas deals with the shorter duration of the events as they have happened. After this, you can see this Manvantar is also multiplied by 14, that is 14 Manvantar. 14 Manvantaras generate one Kalp. One kalp, and that is considered as the one Brahma Divas, जिसको हम ब्रह्मा समझते हैं. I told you that the root is Brahman and nominative case singular is Brahma. So the one who is supposed to be the creator of in our understanding, for that Brahma one day is 14 Manvantaras, or in another sense one kalp. If you magnify, you multiply this in the same process, 1 day, 1 night, 1 day, 1 night, and you go on calculating this range from Brahma to Vishnu, Rudra, then Shatarudra, then Brahmand. The age of Brahmand is here. The 100 Divya Varshas of Shatarudras is calculated as the Brahmand, and that is the age of the cosmos which we right now have as the scientific data. जिसको हम आजकल देखते हैं, गूगल पे सर्च करोगे तो यही डेटा आएगा, कोई और डेटा है ही नहीं, कोई और कॉर्पस है ही नहीं जो बता पाए, यही डेटा उन्होंने निकाल के प्रस्तुत किया है आपके सामने. सो दिस इज हाउ वी हैव बीन फूल्ड अ लॉट, बिकॉज we think that we don't know anything, or our ancestors were not knowing anything. So this is one age of one Brahmand, and after that also we listed ahead also. After Brahmand, the age of Ishwar Tattva, then after Ishwar Sadashiv, then after Sadashiv Shakti Tattva is there, and after Shakti there is Anāshrita Shiva Tattva. That is understood as Param Shiv. Anāshrita matlab kisi par jiski dependency na ho. Independent, absolute freedom. That is Param Shiv, the stage of Param Shiv. That can be calculated by this range, जहाँ तक अभी सोच भी नहीं सकते हैं. So this is how in Indian corpus we understand the concept of time. After this, in this also one thing is very important. Suppose the persons who are engaged with the concept of time, understanding this time also, what mistake they create? They don't relate it with the understanding which is available in Paratrishika, जो आपको पढ़ाई मैंने, and they don't relate it with the chakras and or the meditative absorption state, right? So mistake क्या होती है, आप अगर इसको directly, if you calculate it directly on the basis of numbers, you will find like कलयुग अभी इतने दिनों तक चलेगा. You will absolutely be in a state like कुछ अच्छा करने की ज़रूरत नहीं है. We need not to do anything good because it is Kalyug, and there will be one avatar Kalki, and he will do everything good for us, and we have to do whatever we want to do, and whether it is good or bad, we need not to think about it. This is a major misconception. Why? Because the calculation is not like you calculate it on paper as per your own standards, because you are a jeev, a nar or a adu, a delimited atomic entity who is not in a state of meditative absorption. The list or the understanding is presented to you by those seekers who are rishis, and they have presented it at the point of their meditative absorption. So at that level your internal time is getting regulated. The more you are internalized, the more you are having trespassing the normal time and space. So basically मैंने कहा कि अगर हम एक ही दिन में 4 बार सोने लग जाएं, 4 बार जगने लग जाए, so होगा क्या? In 24 hours itself, the 24 hours which are right now for the external personality, 24 hours means 1 day, 1 night. एक बार सूरज उगा, एक बार डूब गया, ठीक है? You would be in a state of having 4 times night, 4 times day, right? You compare it. In the same way, you start comparing. If you are in a continuous state of involution, that means now you started sleeping more, and or you can say 2 घंटे ही आपने सोना शुरू किया, 2 घंटे सोए, 2 घंटे जगे, फिर 2 घंटे सोए, फिर 2 घंटे जगे. In a state of meditative absorption, you won't be able to identify whether you are sleeping or awake. You are internalized, and your nadi, your Surya and Chandra nadi is present inside of you. Now you are getting regulated according to the biological clock which is happening inside of you, and at some point of time, 2 hours, then 1 hour, then half hour, then few minutes or few seconds can make 1 day and 1 night. 1 day and 1 night. So the internalized time is presented here. The internalized time is presented here. So once you understand the internalized time, you will understand this is not the concept which is presented at the level of grossest possible state or tattva, that is Prithvi tattva. It is presented when one is seated at the topmost point, that is the Shiva tattva, or you can say the possible level where the time itself vanishes, at least crosses the level of Maya and. तब ये प्रेजेंट किया गया है, तो उनके हिसाब से कैलकुलेट कीजिए। जिस ऋषि ने इसको प्रेजेंट किया है वो अपने एक दिन में कितनी बार दिन और रात एक्सपीरियंस कर रहा है, उसके हिसाब से ये गणना कीजिए। So first you identify that rishi, then you identify what it is, and then you try to wait for some Kalki avatar to do everything good. नहीं, that avatar is inside of us. You have to be that. इसलिए कर्म करना, that's why Krishna has already prescribed in the Dwapar what? Your karma is more important. You will create that identity within yourself that is present inside you. And we need to realize that potential. That's why Indian systems trained like us. Now furthermore, we are just expanding the things which are being taught in the bhuvanas, the concept of bhuvan. As you can see that this figure has been explained. One by one, each of the space, like first one is Parthiv and having Prithvi avaran, covering is Prithvi Tattva is available. And now you can see in figure 4.6. I have presented this in the way for the better understanding of the students, like these triangles are denoting ayatan. Ayatan means a voluminous space. In Hindi or Sanskrit, if you translate volume, it will be ayatan. Okay? So ayatan is a voluminous space, and the inside the triangle, whatever number is available, that is the number denoting pur and bhuvan. Number of puras or bhuvanas is present inside. So if you see this circle and then there is a square outside. Inside the circle, the ayatan which are available are named as internal voluminous spaces, abhyantar ayatan. The outside ones are known as vahe ayatan or external voluminous spaces. So inside 1, 1, 1, that means 5, right? Outside 5, 4, 1, 1, 11. So total 16. This is how the alignment of the bhuvanas is available at Parthiv and. This is how, which is being understood in the corpus. Then in the next tattva, that is Jala tattva, because after Prithvi we have Jala. So in Jala tattva again the same structure is available, but there is no internal ayatan. इसीलिए आप पृथ्वी पे घर बना पाते हैं, आपके पास घर है। क्यों है? क्योंकि आभ्यंतर आयतन है। इन जल तत्व आप नहीं घर बना सकते, आप पुल बना सकते हैं लेकिन पानी हटा के, पानी को रख करके नहीं बना सकते। इन जल तत्व internal voluminous space is not available, external voluminous space is available. So in that fishes, all the aquatic animals are already in existence. So they are numbered as 5. In 5 nahi, that 5 is the representation. Here are 8 numbers total, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, then 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. These are the alignments. After Jal also we have Agni, deep inside of the core of the earth, deep inside of the core of the earth, Agni Tattva is available, and in that also we have 8. But in the externality, within you cannot make, nothing can exist, that the temperature is so rigorous. Then after Agni, Vayu is there. The same pattern is being followed, externalized. External reality is 8 number. In Akash Tattva also the same number, 8 voluminous spaces, and then the alignment goes to the next level. After that Ahankar, then Buddhi. Ahankar is having the same 8, Buddhi is having the same 8. Prakriti is also having 8. So in total, in Prakrit and we are having 56 bhuvan. Why? Because 8 cross 8. How? 1 is Prakriti, starting from here 1, then 2, 3, 4, this is 4, and 5 Vayu. Then after Vayu we have Agni and Jal. So in turn we are having 8. 8 cross 8 you it's 7, sorry, not 8, they are 7 in number, starting from Jal. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. So in turn we have having 7 and each one is having 8 number, so it is becoming 56. So in Prakrit and we are having 56 bhuvanas. After Prakrit and in Maya and we are having 28 bhuvanas, and the alignment is like Prakriti, no Purush, it's not Prakriti, it's Purush, then Niyati, Rag, Vidya, Kal, Kala and Maya. So who is not having any bhuvan? That is Rag. Rag tattva ka koi bhuvan nahi hai. That's why we have been told to be free from the attachments. That is liberation. You do the work but nishkam karma. Srimad Bhagavad Gita prescribes nishkam karma. That means you do the task, you accomplish the function, you accomplish the task, but without attachments. That is going to liberate you, because that is going to promote you to the next level. If you are attached in the fruits, then automatically you won't be you will be in a cycle of either sadness or depression or happiness or depression, something or other thing. You will be in the same cycle. You won't be able to upgrade yourself. So here the alignment of the number is like, if you total it, it will be 28. So in Maya and we have 20 bhuvan. After this we have Shakt and in this also we are having the arrangement of 18 bhuvanas. External, these are 5, 4, 1, 1, 11 is external, and then the rest of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 are internal. This is available at the Shakt and in the Shiv and the same structure is available as it is available in Prakriti or in the Parthiv or Parthiv and, that means Prithvi dominated element, Prithvi dominated space. So Parthiv and Shiv and is having the same arrangement. That's why when we count it in total, we do not consider this last number 16, and in total the number comes as 118. So 118 are the bhuvanas associated, and in bhuvanas also there are deshas which are calculated as 256 in Tantra Lok of Abhinav Gupta. After this understanding, we need to have the understanding in relationship of the time and space about the cognizers. We, जो हम हैं, हम कहाँ पे हैं, our existence कैसे है, हमारा existence कैसे place किया गया है. So the cognizers are classified in these saptavidh pramatas: Sakal, Pralayakal, Vijnanakal, Mantra, Mantresh, Mantra Mahesh and Shiv. This is the names of the cognizers. I told you they are complementary titles. We can be promoted and demoted in among all of them. So we are right now at the Sakal level. What is the characteristic of Sakal Pramata? Our senses are directed outwards. We are engaged in the outward things. We never try to think about inside or involution, or we never question who am I. We never undergo the journey of involution or investigating about ourselves. So this is the dominated by Prithvi Tattva. We are living at Parthiv and Sakal Pramata. So each and everything, this table, this chair and we, किसी को अपने बारे में ज़्यादा superiority रखने की ज़रूरत नहीं है. We all are at the same level, that is Parthiv and, dominated by the grossest possible Tattva Prithvi. Once you start Jala Samadhi, suppose there is a person in our class who got impressed so much by the lecture and started Jala Samadhi, started practicing the meditation, and after some long prolonged state of sadhana took the Jala Samadhi. So that will be migrated to the next level of Pralayakal, because Pralayakal Pramata is seated at the next level Prakrit and, जहाँ जल तत्व है, जल से लेकर प्रकृति तक सब प्राकृत अंड में है. So, one by one we have to master all of the tattvas. After Jal there will be the Agni, Vayu, Akash. One by one each tattva is going to be mastered. That is something which is a part of sadhana. In that procedure automatically we make command over the composition from which we have been created. So, in turn our encapsulations and delimitations are going to be dissolved and slowly we will be magnifying ourselves. So, the process in the sciences, what we do, we create an instrument with a resolution power of 16x, 64x and something. Whatever we are doing, magnifying the range of the instruments, that is in externality. We are creating the instrument and magnifying or sophisticating it in externality, that is outside of us. In Indian corpus, we do the same thing but within ourselves. So, Aryabhatta, Bhaskaracharya, और भी जितने Shankaracharya, Abhinav Gupta, a lot of the names I can give you the list. They have understood the knowledge not by the external instrumentality. They made themselves as the instrument and sophisticated themselves. Then only they presented everything. चाहे वो geometry हो, चाहे trigonometry हो. So either you are studying calculus or studying any probability equations, they all have been already explored and well presented by them. Once you read them, you will find out. So in the same way, here after Pralyakal, the stage of Vijnanakal will be there, then after Vijnanakal, Mantra, then Mantresh, then Mantra Mahesh and then Shiva. So that's why in Indian understanding, in Indian education system, research and development doesn't needed crores of the project, because instrumentality is inside. We are ourselves the laboratory. You experiment, you have the courage to explore yourself, you do it. Without any investment, you will be finding the truth by yourself. So we were not dependent on the external instrumentality, that was the cadre we had. And right now we are so paralyzed, we are continuously dependent for a single penny from someone else who can sponsor us, and then we can do anything, or we will be, and we think we will be known to the world when we do the same thing. This is the stage of paralysis of the education system, completely brainwashed. So the second, so in this diagram you can see that there are 7 pramatas, 7 cognizers, and each pramata is possessing his or her or one's own power that is named as separately. So in turn, if you join them 7 plus 8, it will be like 15. So this is understood as Panchadasha, 15. So you can see that in total what happens, they become, these 7 pramatas can be splitted in understanding up to 15 in number, 15 in number, as per their functionality. Sometimes pramata dominates, sometimes functionality dominates. Like pramata, you are sitting, you are not doing, I am not giving you the chance to say anything, pramata. Listen, just listen. Once I give you chance to perform something, your functionality will dominate. So one is pramata, other is its power. So Shakti and Shaktiman, favorite serial tha kisi ka. Shakti and Shaktiman are together. Shaktiman is none without Shakti. Shakti will be visible once you are performing. Your functionality dominates. Until you are not performing, you are not functional, you are Shaktiman, possessor or beholder of the Shakti. That is Shaktiman. So this is the concept of Shakti and Shaktiman with reference of the pramata or cognizers. Till this, we have understood the main possible things which are related with the subjective and objective manifestation. After this, we need to have the understanding about the mantratmak aspect of bhasha. This much was very important for making that fundamental ground on which you can understand mantra, that is contemplation power of consciousness. So for this lecture, this was sufficient, and we will meet in the next lecture. Thank you.